My main concern for the climate crisis is that world leaders are not going to be able to keep global temperature rise below 1.5 degrees C. Scientists have shown us how failing to do so is going to lead to a catastrophic chain of events such as sea levels rising, extreme weather events, drought, wildfires, loss of species, loss of biodiversity. And obviously, as a young person, that's really scary to hear.
I'm really concerned about how world leaders have been ignoring the climate crisis and how little education people are getting around the subject. If we don't act, the climate crisis will bring harm to both wildlife and to future generations of the human race.
World leaders don't seem to be leading. They're not taking responsibility, they're not leading by example, and they're not serving the people.
Are animals going to become extinct due to their habitats being destroyed?
One of my main concerns with the climate crisis is the loss of wildlife that we will experience because of rising sea levels and increasing temperatures, rendering animals unable to survive in their current habitats. Subsequently, they will go extinct and die out.
Climate change seems to be affecting the world's poorest countries. I used to live in Malawi in Africa, and I witnessed the effects of climate change like flash flooding and increasing temperatures.
We have to remember that climate justice shows us how discrimination and poverty connect to the crisis.
At school we've made an eco club called MAD Club, which stands for Make a Difference Club, and we're trying to solve problems that our school have with the environment and also social justice issues.
In my school, we've cut down on the amount of plastic that we use to package our food products. We have paper recycling boxes, places to recycle stationery.
My community is sharing out food, avoiding food waste, and stepping up recycling.
My school has been reducing the amount of plastic waste we use by not having as much plastic packaging, by making drinks more out of tin and stuff so we can actually recycle it and impact the environment a lot less.
We're trying to get wildflower beds around our school to encourage biodiversity. We're also trying to get solar panels, and we're also trying to solve the litter problem and plastic problem that our school have.
We also use Ecosia, which is a web browser that plants a tree for every search you make, and we have that on every single computer in the school.
One of the things my local council did to help with climate change is build a cycle path linking villages to the train station, enabling more people to use public transport and stop using their cars, helping to reduce carbon emissions in that way. They also set up a Copeland Citizens Jury, which worked with local people to come up with recommendations and ideas on how to stop climate change.
My school doesn't seem to be doing much about the climate crisis, and it's the same with my council. At school we do have an eco club, but other than that there's very little going on. Environmental concerns obviously weren't included when the school appointed a catering service, and I don't think the recycling is actually being recycled. World leaders seriously need to wake up and start listening. Proper decisions, not just promises for the future, need to be made, and fast. We need to immediately stop investing in fossil fuels. We need to start protecting the animals we've endangered. We need to work with farmers to cut methane levels, and we need to work with other people to make changes in our lives.
Especially in the Lake District, we should be focusing on peat bogs. 97% of peat bogs in the UK are damaged, and they're so helpful for carbon storing, water management, especially helpful in the Lake District with increasing floods, and they're really home to lots of biodiversity.
I think people, especially younger people, should be educated more about the climate crisis.
It'd be really good if you could come into school and stuff and tell people about it and understand what the climate crisis actually is, because a lot of people don't actually understand and are a bit confused about it.
One thing I think needs to be done is greater education towards secondary school age. In primary school, lots is done to teach people about climate change, but by the time you get to secondary school, especially at the end of secondary school when you're soon going to be voting, it all drops off and people are unaware of what is happening with our climate and our planet.
I think that everyone has the responsibility to do as much as they can, So if you're a person who's in a position of influence, I would really like to see you using your voice to try and promote change as much as you can. And that would be really great to see happening at the upcoming COP26 event, because I really think that there's never been a more important time to act.
There is still hope, but we have to act now before it's too late.